Guys, today we're going to look a little bit at some money. We work a lot with money in the classroom. We start with some real basic things. One of the things that we look at is first being able to identify a dime versus a penny. We can also look at a quarter and a nickel, but with adding, we use a lot of base 10 stuff. So because a dime is worth 10 pennies, this helps us be able to do some addition later and things like that. It's also easier to count by tens than it is to figure out quarters, 25, 50, 75, 100, or to count by fives. So one thing you can do with your kiddos, any kind of counting activities. So if I wanted to count my pennies, I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10. You'll notice as I counted them, I moved them, because if I do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can't remember which ones I counted and which ones I didn't. So I like to move them as I count. If I'm going to count dimes, though, I'm going to count by tens because each dime is worth 10 cents. A penny is worth 1 cent. A dime is worth 10 cents. So I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. All right. And we count by tens every day in the classroom. When we do our calendar time, we count by ones. Those are things that we practice a lot of. We also count by fives, just because when you tell time, you have to be able to count by fives. And with money, you have to be able to count by fives. But the first thing we focus on really hard is counting by ones, and then we move to counting by tens. So one of the games that I like to play with the kids is this. I do a couple different games, but one of them is this. I'll take we talk a lot about how this is the cent sign, and that means I'm going to use pennies or coins, and this is the dollar sign. So this means I'm going to need to use my dollars if I have that sign. So we talk a lot about that. So sometimes we do a little game where I draw something they might want to buy at the store. So let's say I'm going to the store and I decide I want to buy a book. And it's a cool book. It's about a cat. All right, so I want to buy a book called The Cat at the store. All right, so I have to look at the price tag and I have to see how much it costs. So maybe there's a price tag stuck to the book, and I'm not the best drawer, they'll tell you. I might need to make that a little bigger. Sorry about that. The school's calling me. Imagine that. All right, so here's my price tag, and I have to look. Am I going to use dollars or am I going to use cents? And this one says it's going to be $3. And if you don't have money at home, you can, well, obviously you can use real pennies. Most people have real pennies. If you don't have dollars laying around for your kids to use, you can just use paper money. Just make some out of green paper. No big deal. So this says in order to buy the cat book, I need $3. So I'm going to count out dollars because I see the dollar sign. I'm not going to use coins. And I need 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. So for older kids, I like to do things like, you have $2. Do you have enough to buy the cat book? No, I don't have enough. $2 is less than $3. So those are some of the games that you can play with that. You can do with cents as well. If you don't want to work on the dollar sign and the cent sign, that's fine. Just any counting activities work great. Let's say I go to the store and I see that there is a cool balloon for sale. And I want to buy the balloon. I need to know how much it costs. So I'm going to look, and it says the balloon costs 5 cents. So I need to use my coins because it says cents, and I would count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I had 10 pennies and I spent 5 on a balloon, how many are left? Here's a simple way just to do some math problems. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pennies left. Okay, so those are some ideas of things that you can do with money, just real simple activities with counting. If your kids are older and they are working, they already know how to count by ones really well, and they're working on some harder addition problems. I love to use the dimes and the pennies for the base 10 system. So if I wanted to show 28 with my coins, I know that I can find my ones, and my ones are the pennies. I need 8 of them first. So I need 8 pennies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And in the tens column, I have 2, so I need 2 coins that are worth 10, and that's where I put my dimes. So I need 2 dimes and 8 pennies. So I would count 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. So that's older kids who are already counting well and who can count by tens really well. Those are activities that we do with them. We make a lot of different numbers, and we talk about the ones are pennies because they're worth 1 cent. So the number in the ones column is that. This is the tens column, so I need to use something that's worth 10 cents. So I use my dimes. Another way that the older kids use base 10 blocks is they use the actual base 10 blocks. So for 28, they would use 2 10 blocks, and then they would use 8 1 blocks. All right. So that's another thing that we do, and we talk a lot about how we can also, if you don't have 10 blocks, because I'm sure you don't, we can draw these. So this is what it would look like. I would do 1 long block, 2 long blocks, so that's 2 10 blocks, and then I would draw 8 blocks besides. So this is something you can easily do if your kid is an older kid who's doing math. We've been doing a lot of this this year with especially the second graders. One of my first graders has been working on this as well. How do we show this with 10 blocks or dimes and pennies? So this is something else that you can do with it. So if you have any questions at any time, parents, I would be happy to answer them. If you want me to try some things with your kids on Zoom, please let me know. I'm available. I would love to help out. Hope you have a great day.